Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to a new episode of our radio show, Friends Talk with John. My name is John McCormick, and I am your host. Just as the talk show suggests, this is an informal forum for friends to come together and discuss topics and/or share random thoughts. Although I will suggest topics at times, everyone is welcome to suggest a topic as well. The show tonight will be in a few segments over the next hour. I created this show so friends that may never get a chance to meet in person can at least talk to each other here. It's like the next best thing. We get to put a voice with a face. I just want to say how grateful I am for all my friends I have made online through Facebook and other social networking sites, and I want to thank each one of you for being a friend. Well, it's time now to get the show started. You have two options. You can choose to just listen to the show via your computer, or you can call in to join the live group discussion on the air. If you call in, you will hear the phone through your phone. The listener dial-in number is 646-595-2058. That's 646-595-2058. Or if needed, call the toll-free number at 1-888-488-4526. That's 1-888-488-4526. So please call now to be connected. Thank you in advance for listening to the show, and to anyone that may call in. Be sure to call in, because without any callers, it would be just me talking, and that would be boring. So please call in now.
And I do see that we do have our first caller, and who's calling in this evening? Hello? I see someone's called in. Who's calling in?
Hello.
Oh, hi, Joey.
Hi, how are you, John?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Have you had a nice weekend?
It's been okay. I've been helping my family move to another part of Texas, so it's kind of been hectic. And then we've both been sick. You know, you and I have both been sick this week. So.
Right. So did you, when you say help them move, you mean you were, trying to lift all the heavy things and stuff like that?
I'm a real trooper out there.
Oh, gosh. I don't know if I could have done that, because when I was sick I'm starting to get better, though. I feel really well today. But the thing is that I had no energy. I mean, I felt dizzy and weak.
Yeah.
So you really are a trooper.
Yeah,
wow.
It's fun being dizzy and going up and down a flight of steps. That's not good.
Right, not at all. Well, I'm sure they appreciated you helping them, though, so that's great.
I say if you help somebody move, that earns you a special place in heaven, if you don't mind being called special.
I like that. I tell you what, I've helped a lot of people move in my past, so hopefully that means I'll have some special place.
That's right.
Well, I wanted to say, while we're waiting for some more callers, I just wanted to say what we're going to do tonight. Like I mentioned in the intro, we are going to have a few topics, a few segments with topics, but one of them definitely you and I are going to talk about a lot. And that's going to be about healthy eating, because I know you've been really working on with that, keeping a journal. Well, I guess this would be considered a blog, right? Because you're writing your notes every day almost, and then of course you have your group, which is healthy eating, about that too. So hopefully what we'll do is we'll spend some time talking about that, because I'm really passionate about it too. I worked for a weight loss center, as you know, and I saw a lot of people, needing to change their lifestyles, and that's really what it is. It's a lifestyle change, and
it really is.
Yeah, I mean, just a way of getting out of old habits and into new good ones and more healthier ones. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. But also I had a couple of other topics I wanted to talk about tonight too. So just stay tuned about that. But here's what I wanted to do. I always like to play at least one song for every show, and I have one song that I'm playing tonight. And the reason I'm playing it is because it really reminds me of friends, that help each other, that raises them up when they're down and so on. But another reason why I want to play this song is because I was going through some things this past week of my father's that he left me, and there were some coins. And I just didn't want to, just keep them in a box. So I put them on eBay, and I've been selling them, and I did sell one so far. And but anyways, it just really brought back a lot of memories of those coins, because those are the coins I gave him at one point for his birthday or Christmas, and then all of a sudden I got them all back too. But the song I'd like to play right now is something I think that we can all identify with anybody that's important to us, and it's called "You Raise Me Up" by Josh Groban, and here it is.
Me up to walk on stormy seas.
And we are back, and I just love that song because it just can mean so many things to different people. But like I said, to me it means friendship when someone's down, being there for them. But also in my case too, it reminds me of my father because he was always there for me too. And I always picture myself on his shoulders, literally, when I hear this song. So it's really special. But anyways, I did want to go ahead and get started with our first topic. And Joey Savage is here on the line with us. And she has been, like I mentioned earlier, really working with this for some time. And Joey, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey? What made you decide to get started doing it, and about how you kept track of it and so on?
Okay. Well, John, a little over 2 years ago now, first of all, I'm like 5 feet tall. So
I met you. I remember.
I'm a short person. And in 2007 and 2008, I was going through a divorce and breakup, actually, and it was not pleasant. And I decided to eat my way through it. And by 2009, I was a little over 300 pounds. So on a 5-foot frame, that looks really, really bad. I was as short as wide, as tall as wide. That's it. And so, 2009, I decided to get on the ball. So I procrastinated a little while, and then in February of 2010, I started this journey to health because I didn't want to call it a diet. I still do, but I think a journey to health is much better. And I'm concentrating on the whole person instead of just losing weight because everything changes when you go through this. Your attitude, your whininess, it either gets well, no, I think I whine more.
So that's okay.
Yeah, I used to think, fat people are jolly. No, it's not.
But you have been doing it, yeah.
It's been a struggle for 2 years to keep it off, but I've lost about 67 pounds so far, and I still have a ways to go. And you can tell a little bit from pictures that I had that I've lost a little, but it doesn't look like much, and it doesn't feel like much, so the rewards are not there yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I think you look great, just so you know. I think you look awesome. So, and
that's another part of it, too, is self-image, It takes a long time to revamp yourself and be confident and happy in yourself again once you let everything go. And it's harder the older you get.
Well, what are some of the things that you have done, as far as on your journey, on changing things and to get to where you want to be? What would you say are some of the, successes, that you have done that you're happy about?
Well, I started with a kind of a paleo diet, not exactly the same as them, but very similar to the paleo diet, and which means no sugar, and I'm gluten intolerant, so no bread.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard.
Wow.
And a lot less dairy. So basically, I stopped eating fast food, and I just had a major change in attitude, and my health got better after that because I used to have migraines, and I don't. And I have a lot more energy.
That's great.
I do an exercise program every morning, and I do 15 minutes of cardio in the morning, and then in the afternoon, and then again in the evening. So
wow, that's dedicated. That's great. Yeah. Well, now, how did it all start though for you? I mean, did you like say I've got to do exercise and I also have to watch when I'm eating, or did you just focus on one of those things first and then added the other thing later, or I guess what I'm trying to say is too, what can you recommend to somebody who's just getting started with the idea, of doing what you've been doing, and what approach do you think would be the best way to work with that? Trying to tackle them both, or just tackle one of them at first? Yeah.
Diet, I think, is the most important change that you have to make. But you do have to get up off the couch. You can't diet and just sit there, because that doesn't work.
So now, did you in the beginning focus more on natural activity? Because I know a lot of people that I worked with in the weight loss industry, they would just increase their natural activity, take the stairs instead of the elevator, and park further away when they're in the parking lot, from the store, so they had to walk a little distance. What were some of the things that you did to get you started with the exercise part?
I did those things, but I have a really nice neighborhood around here, and we have the 4 streets that surround us make up about a mile, 9/10 of a mile. So
wow.
I walk that every day, or I did when the weather was good. It's starting to get better now, so I'm going to start doing that again.
Well, that's awesome, and that reminds me of one of the techniques I would tell my clients because I was in Ohio originally, so it's a little hard when you've got 3 or 4 feet of snow on the sidewalks to take a walk. But I would always tell them to just go to the mall, because when you go to the mall, you're walking a lot, So that's what I used to tell my clients: just go to the indoor mall and walk around, a little bit, and you can still get that exercise in. So, but now, So where are you at right now as far as, you said that you've lost, how much was it again,
67 pounds.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, but you're going to stick with it, it sounds like. And then also, too, I know that you have your group that you started. And what's the name of your group again, just for everybody? So
it's called Joey of Healthy Cooking. Joey is my name.
Yeah.
And it's just a great place on Facebook to talk about healthy food, or share recipes, or, talk about things that are happening in the health and fitness world. Because there's a lot of scams out there, and there's a lot of good things out there. You just got to sort it out, and it helps to have friends that have tried a lot of stuff,
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's wonderful when people can share, and what they may have something they can share that you haven't thought of, that could really be a big help, in your journey and your success with what you want to do. So I think that's great. Now, I know I'm a member of your group, and I love your group. And but what are some of the things that you said you guys share, like recipes and and things like that? Well, what have you come up with since you started that group? What are maybe one or a couple things maybe that came up that you didn't think of, about trying or doing? Was there anything that anyone has suggested or anything like that?
About a year ago, there was I was doing the wrong thing.
Okay.
and I was trying to lose too fast, and I kind of lost 25 pounds all of a sudden and really quickly, and I depleted my proteins, and I got a lot of people in the group saying, hey, you can't do that, hey, and there's a lot of good nutrition advice. in the group.
Well, excellent. And that's one of the things I can tell you. You know, I worked for the number one weight loss center, and it still is the number one. And the thing is that we always said you don't want to lose more than 1 or 2 pounds a week. And a lot of people don't like to hear that because, you know, they want to lose it now, you know.
Yeah, you want to see results by 5 o'clock, I'm telling you.
Well, you know, the thing is that, you know, too, when you first start, you know, watching what you're eating and cutting out salt, especially sodium, you know, you're going to lose a lot of, you know, water weight because a lot of people don't realize they have a lot of water weight. So the first week can be encouraging. You know, you might lose 5 pounds, and you're thinking, wow, I'm going to lose 5 pounds every week, you know. And then, you know, you get rid of that water weight, you know, you're back to a healthier weight loss, which is 1 to 2 pounds, you know, per week. And even though it doesn't sound like a lot, it does add up, you know, over time, and it's a healthier weight loss. Because, you know, those quick weight loss, like you said, there's scams out there. And I'm not sure what the current scams are, but I mean, you know, there's a lot of them that have come up over the years, and they're always, you know, quick weight loss. You know, anybody can lose weight quickly, but can you keep it off? That's the key. You know. No,
you can't. You got to do it right, otherwise it's going to come back and it won't be pretty. It won't be pretty, for sure.
Well, you know, right, and you know the thing about it is when you go into wanting to lose weight, you also need to go into the mindset that you want to maintain that weight loss. You know, you want to have maintenance. So
right, that's why I'm not calling it a diet. I'm calling it my health journey because that's what I'm going for. I saw some TV shows when I first started. They used to have this show about a health center in South Carolina that was helping 2 people that were enormously overweight, and it was a 6-month program, and they always did really well. But it breaks your heart, you know, to watch somebody that big and then their struggle. But they made a point, you know, you want to be around to see your granddaughter go to college, you know.
Sure.
And that's
Well, I'm really happy to say, you know, I saw a lot of success stories, you know, like that. People who were extremely overweight. There was this one lady. She was 350 pounds, and I helped her lose down to 150 pounds. So she literally lost, I think, less than that. I got her down to 145 pounds. So she lost a lot of weight. And you know what's really amazing about it was she not only did she lose the weight, but she gained a lot of confidence. You know, it was like, you know, her whole life changed. And what was amazing about it is she met a guy who was also a part of the weight loss program that I worked at. She met him, and they ended up getting married. You know, and they invited me to their wedding, and it was so special because here she is in this little, you know, bridal dress, and she's looking all good and everything. And it was so funny. No, not funny. It was special. When I went to the reception, and her entire family, everybody just kept coming up to me and grabbing my hand and saying, thank you for helping her. Thank you. And that's why I loved working where I worked at, because I believed in the product and it worked, you know. And
it's really helpful to have friends along the way, and that's been a major part of my journey, is all the support that I get and the encouragement that I get from the people on Facebook and on my blogs and the people in the group. Everyone has been extremely helpful and very kind.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I did want to say, too, just to everyone else out there that have been thinking about wanting to go on this journey, you know, like what you have gone on and many others, is to not overwhelm yourself. You know, that's the number one thing I want to say to anyone out there that's listening, is that, you know, a lot of times people think, oh, gosh, I got to get on the treadmill now. I got to do this now. You know, I've got to do this. I can't eat this now. What I want to say to everyone out there is just focus, like you said, Joey, you know, on the diet, what you're eating. That is number one. You can lose weight without exercise. Exercise is very important, But it's not important to get started. You can just focus on your diet, forget exercise. If you want to, like I mentioned earlier, do natural activity, increase that with the stairs and so on, do that, but just don't worry about it. Just try to focus on what you're eating. And then you can always implement, the exercise or the natural activity a little bit later. But I did also want to say that what I have found is that there really isn't anything bad for you out there to eat. You can have just about anything you want. The key to it, though, is moderation and also balanced nutrition.
Balance
you need to
is so important, John. Oh, man. We had a whole epiphany on that when we encourage people to read labels in the group because it is so important. Like I didn't know until 6 months ago that your potassium in your food has to be like twice as much or even 3 times as much as the sodium in the same food. So that's why they tell people to stay away from processed foods because there's no balance.
Right.
And sodium is extremely high in processed foods.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the way that they have to preserve it or something. I don't know why they put so much sodium in there. And that's why I finally am trying, myself. Because, I'm in the journey with you, Joey. Here's what's so funny about it is I have become one of my clients, okay? I used to be the preacher, telling them what to do and how to do it. And I mean, I was always very thin when I worked there. I mean, I was like maybe a few pounds underweight. So I always, looked really good and felt good. But leaving that company like I did, now this has been about 10 years ago, so I haven't worked for them for a long time. I have now become one of my clients. I need to lose about 30 pounds, So I'm with that struggle and that journey too, and I have been working on it. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I'm going to have a progress report for you, Joey, in your group soon.
Oh, great.
So. But is there anything else that you can think of that you wanted to maybe share with anyone listening that would be some good advice or just any tips or anything about what can make their journey a little bit easier?
I think it's been very helpful to write every day and get out your feelings about, what your struggles are because it just helps you move through the process. And I cannot stress enough how much you should read your labels. I read constantly in the grocery store. I'm like, it's like a bookshelf.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because what they do is they advertise so many calories, but they don't tell you how many servings. So.
Yeah.
So it's really, it could be 2 servings. It's double that and double the sodium.
And there are hidden things, like who would have thought corn syrup is in your salad dressing? Nobody. But if you read the label, it's there. And that's something that, even though the corn board says it's okay, it isn't. It really isn't.
No, I've heard nothing but bad things about that. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Joey, I wanted to mention something to you really quickly. This is like our 12th show, and which is exciting. And but on 2 of the shows, for some reason, I have just been disconnected. Just a technical problem, it just disconnects me. So I just wanted to say, if something would happen and I got silent and you didn't hear me anymore, could you do one of your comedy routines until I get back? It only takes a couple of minutes, and I come back.
Don't leave me, John.
No, it happened last week, and I was like, it's so frustrating, but they say they're working on it. I guess it's been happening to several other people too, but yeah, it's pretty bad when your host gets disconnected from their own show,
I'll tell you, the first time I called in to you, John, I was trying to watch it or listen to it on the computer, And then I called in on the phone, and the phone is faster than the computer, so it was kind of weird. It was like I was in two spaces at one time. Like,
oh yeah, you have to. Yeah, when you're on the phone, you've got to turn off the sound of the computer because it's a so many second delay, you know. But I don't know how many seconds. But I know I've heard people who've been on the show on the phone with me, and I'm on the show with me. Calling in, and I can hear myself talking in the background, you know. But that's okay. That's cool. Well, you know, I just want to say I'm so glad we finally got a chance because, you know, like you said, you were sick, I was sick. We kept putting off this topic, but it's such an important topic, and so many people are out there just suffering and, you know, not knowing how to even begin to get on track, and they just get so overwhelmed, like I said, trying to think they have to do exercise and diet at the same time. You don't have to do that. Just do your diet, and eventually, you know, you can do your exercise. But the key to it is, like you said, there's a lot of scams out there and everything, and I just wanted to say that again, that this is a lifestyle change. You cannot just go on a temporary diet, if you wanted to call it a diet, and then expect to keep the weight off. You've got to change your habits. You got to change the way you think about food. You got to change the way, you know, you plan your meals, and it needs to be incorporated for life, you know. Otherwise, you're going to be right back in the same situation, you know.
Hey, John, did you know that dark chocolate was really good for you, even on a diet?
I heard dark chocolate is very good for you. Yes. My friend preaches that to me all the time.
I found a website called chocolatetraveler.com, and they sell this candy. It's dark chocolate wedges, but it's made with Tabasco sauce, so it's really spicy, like burns your throat. But it's like 60 calories for two little wedges, and oh, it's delicious.
It sounds great. Yeah, I love dark chocolate. I like chocolate, you know, just overall, any kind of chocolate. So that sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm going to have to try that. Yeah.
Low calorie, low carb, no fat, and it burns your throat. What more can you ask from your chocolate?
Yeah, I like that. You know, what I like is when my food bites me back.
That's
you know?
it.
Yeah, I love that, you know. And what's so funny about it was growing up, and we never had spicy food, you know, growing up in the Midwest. And then I moved out here to California, and slowly I got introduced, you know, to food that really bites you back. And my friend, he's from Morocco, and he always makes very spicy foods. And I did want to mention, Joey, we just got another caller, and I just wanted to find out who's calling in tonight. Hello, you're on the air. Who's calling in? Oh, okay. Well, they are a little shy, so hopefully, thank you for calling in and listening. That's really important. Well, you know, Joey, I just want to thank you again for all the advice and all the information that you just shared. I think that's awesome, and I appreciate you coming on and everything, and I hope you can stay to the end. We only have maybe just like 25 more minutes.
Okay.
There is one more topic I thought I wanted to cover tonight, and you can tell me if you think it might be something that sounds interesting, because I have a couple of others too. But I wanted to cover a topic about estranged relationships, because lately, you know, I've had some of those, and people that I know have had some. A lot of them were caused, you know, by this election. So I just wanted to share a short story that I wrote that I just did a recording of today, and it's not perfect because I'm not a voiceover guy. But I wanted to play it really quickly. It's called Roses as Thorns. It's about relationships that are estranged, and then when that's over with, we'll come back and talk about that a little bit. So here is Roses as Thorns.
Roses as Thorns by John S. McCormick. Sam Miller's phone rings at 1 o'clock in the morning. Once again, it's his sister, Rose Sellers, calling late, crying hysterically. In between sobs, she tries to speak. My children hate me. I must be a bad person for them to hate me so much. Sam responds irritably, Rose, I am tired of you calling me about those brats. You don't deserve what they put you through. No, I must do something to make them feel this way, she says softly. Rose, they are adults in their 20s and 30s. They need to grow up and get over whatever issues they have with you and treat you right, Sam says forcefully. They blame me for everything, including marrying Nick. The fact he is now dead isn't even good enough for them. They even blame me for the way Ted treated me. They say I deserved it, Rose says as she starts crying heavily again. Rose married Nick Sellers after 20 years of physical and verbal abuse while married to her kids' father, Ted Barker. After her divorce from Ted, she learned her high school sweetheart, Nick, was in prison. Rose believed in his innocence and married him while he was still incarcerated. She worked hard on his case, eventually proving his innocence and setting him free. Unfortunately, after 10 years in prison, Ted never adjusted back to the real world. He eventually committed suicide. Rose found his dead body next to hers in their bed. He had taken an overdose of her prescription medications. All of her children frowned on all of this, especially her youngest daughter, Marie Porter. Marie even said I can't see her daughter when she is born unless I get rid of everything in my life that reminds me of Nick, Rose said. Rose, that's bullshit. You're not going to do that, are you? Sam says angrily. I don't know what to do. I want to see my new granddaughter, Rose says sadly. You can't let Marie manipulate and control your life. Who is she anyways, but a spoiled, immature, arrogant brat? What the hell does she know about anything? Sam says, getting more upset. It's not just Marie. The other girls in Clay say horrible things too, Rose explains. In addition to Marie, Rose has twin daughters, Lynn Myers and Tricia Phillips, which are her oldest kids. She also has a son, Clay Barker. Rose, I am so sick of all this. It has to stop. Just don't talk to them anymore for a long time. Then maybe they will appreciate you more, Sam says, still upset. Rose explains, You're not a mother. That's easier said than done. And I want to see my granddaughter. Well, it's your life, and I don't mean to sound rude, but I don't want to hear anything about what they are doing or saying to you anymore. You do what you want, Sam says firmly. I'm sorry I bothered you with all this, Rose says. You didn't bother me. You can call me any time you want to. I just don't want to talk about your kids anymore unless they are treating you right, Sam says again firmly. Rose and Sam end their conversation and say goodbye. Sam, still fuming, decides to send emails to all 4 of Rose's kids asking them to give their mother a break and treat her better. He tries to be very diplomatic in what he writes. He received in response extremely nasty emails basically telling him to mind his own business. Marie's email was the nastiest. She said that Sam just made sure her mom would never see her granddaughter. She also said her mom was a shitty mother just because her mother was a shitty mother too, which is her grandmother. She went a step further and called Sam's side of the family white trash. This infuriated Sam even more, but he didn't respond back to any of their emails or tried to contact them in any way anymore. He didn't want to make matters worse. Sam later found out that all of Rose's kids blamed her for him sending those emails. This made Rose and her kids have an even more strained relationship. Sam felt horrible for his part in causing that. Eventually, Rose took Sam's advice and moved across the country to live with him until she got a job and found her own place. In the meantime, Rose's kids are still blaming her for things. However, Marie has agreed to let Rose come to her daughter's first birthday, where Rose will get to see her granddaughter for the first time. Rose hopes in the near future that she and her kids can be a real family. Keeping his thoughts and opinions to himself these days, Sam doubts that very much, that any change will happen, and if it does happen, it won't last very long for Rose and her kids.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, she gets to see the granddaughter at the end.
That's true.
It's a very sad story. And, the thing about it is that there's so many more stories like that I know that I've personally of people, who just don't get along, families and friends that become estranged. And
sometimes for no reason at all.
Yeah, or just silly reasons, ridiculous reasons, And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because there's somebody very important to me in my life who, after the election, I always told this person, I don't want to talk about, politics with you because we don't agree. Let's just keep it light and talk about what we like to talk about. And this person kept, after Obama won, just kept going on and on about how evil he is, and told me that I chose him over my friends and family, and just all kinds of just irrational things. And now we haven't spoken since the election.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That's just crazy. Just over an election? I have never done that to people. Whenever I know they don't agree with me on politics or anything, I respect their opinions, and I don't try to judge them or say they're coming against me personally. So, but anyways, I just wanted to check again. I don't know if we had audio trouble or not, but is there anybody else that's connected with their phone listening in that would like to introduce themselves before the show's over?
Hey, John, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I can.
This is Cal Cahan.
Hey, Cal, how are you?
Doing good. I had a glitch with my phone here, so.
I wasn't sure if you were going to get a chance to call in or not, so I'm glad that you did, Yeah. Have you been listening to the show, or did you just get a chance just now to call in?
I just called in before your story, but I had a glitch with my phone here, so.
Yeah, no problem. Well, we also have Joey Savage on the line, and we were talking about, weight loss and also, well, mainly, though, we were talking about healthy eating and things like that. And I was sharing with her that, I'm in that same boat right now. I need to lose about 30 pounds because I've created, over the years of not working in the weight loss industry, I've developed, my own, bad habits. So, but I am working on changing them. So, but how are you doing? I mean, do you have is there anything about your eating habits or anything you wanted to share with us, or?
Well, I guess I'm actually within the past year here when I started working, I've actually cut back on my portions. So I'm trying to get more towards a better one, and I actually have started to feel better since I did that. So.
Oh, great. Excellent. Well, yeah, I'm changing things too, and like I said on Facebook, I said that my new life was beginning, and I know, Cal, you asked me what was that about, What do I mean about a new life? And what I meant by a new life is that one of the things I meant was changing my eating habits, and I did so well today, Joey, you'd be so proud of me. I was, before the show, I was extremely hungry, and I said, now, I think I want to call the pizza place right down the street, and I want to order spaghetti and meatballs. Now, they don't give you one portion. It's like 4 portions in one, okay? So I was like, okay, I can do that. Oh, then I remembered I had a lean cuisine in the freezer. So I went to the freezer, and I got out the lean cuisine, and I ate that instead. So so I'm very proud of myself, because normally I would have given in and I would have ordered that spaghetti and meatballs, So that gave me some hope. It's like today's the day I was really going to make a big difference in my diet. And so far I've been doing okay. So, but anyways, to go back to what I just played, as far as estranged relationships, is there anybody or anybody that you guys know, or you don't have to say who they are or anything if you don't want to, but any particular instances as far as what's causing that estranged relationship. Because I shared about what happened with me, about the election. But is it because, Joey, you said that sometimes it's just silly reasons,
Mm-hmm.
So, but do you know any personal stories about that?
Well, in my own family, when I broke up with my significant other a few years ago, his children were divided on the subject. So, unfortunately, that didn't go well either. So now, instead of saying that I have 4 kids, 2 of his and 2 of mine, now I can only say I only have 2 of mine because his kids don't want to have anything to do with me anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's very sad. Very sad. Yeah, I've always tried to be a great uncle, to my nieces and my nephews, and I'm very close to most of them. But I have one sister where her kids have all just kind of been, almost like the story I played. They've been a little bit estranged to me because I'm such an advocate for my sister and standing up for her.
Mm-hmm.
That because they're very just ungrateful people, and I don't know how they became that way because my sister's not that way. She's very sweet. So, I don't know, but it's just it's really sad. And then, too, what gets me about these relationships sometimes, you can know somebody for like 15, 16 years, and, you've always been supportive to them, and then one day you don't do something for them, and they don't want to have anything to do with you anymore.
Exactly. I've raised these kids,
Yeah. Oh, boy. Well, I hope that works out for you eventually. Time sometimes can change things,
Yeah, when they grow their adult brain, maybe.
Yeah. That's what I always said about my sister's kids. I said, well, when they mature and grow up, they'll realize, that they were wrong, with the way that they're thinking and stuff. So hopefully we'll both have good luck with that. But, Cal, I meant to ask you, too, what have you been up to this weekend? How's your weekend going? Are you at home or are you at your other place, or what you doing?
Well, I'm visiting the other place this weekend and fighting allergies and, still working on my stories.
You sound like you're stopped up. You sound like your nose is stopped up a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's aggravating. I know. Well, Joey and I, we've been, as you know, for me, this is that I've been struggling with a cold this past week, but I feel really well today. I feel like I've kind of recovered from it. So I think I've got a really strong immune system. I think some people do, and some people it can drag on for like weeks.
Yeah.
So
I heard a comedian say that he had enough mucus to supply a small village of mucus-eating people.
That's funny. So what are you doing? Are you performing this weekend at all, or anytime soon, Joey, with your comedy?
I am taking a few days off to recover.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say, whenever you get something else that you have recorded, even if it's just a video, not just audio, I can convert that to an audio, and I'd love to be able to play it here on the show. So.
Okay. I need to really get better at that before, because the last one you played, I was kind of embarrassed. It's not my best work, but I will definitely get on that.
No, that's fine. Well, I wanted to just make an announcement also, is that I had scheduled tonight 2 writers that were going to come on, and but one of them, and they're a couple, and one of them had a serious injury and is in the hospital.
Oh, no.
So, and that just happened, I think, today. So, but he'll be okay, but she and he both couldn't make it tonight. But I was going to spend a part of the show interviewing them, because they're both writers and they're working on again. And I can't wait till this dang anthology finally comes out. We've been working on it forever, but it does have a lot of my short stories in it, and I can't wait to when it does come out.
Cool.
But I do wish his name is Don Thomas and Sherry Bruce. I'm sorry, Sherry Marie Bruce. Those are the two writers. Yeah, I love Sherry. I know, but I guess it just happened, because she just sent me a message right before the show that he's in the hospital, that he had an injury. So, but we're going to reschedule them for next week, and we also have James Moorer, who's also going to be on the show very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. And but I just said, we only have about 8 minutes left. So is there anything else going on, Joey or Cal, that you guys wanted to talk about, tonight?
What is Cal's last name? You never said.
Oh, Cal Kane. He's a superhero. Yeah. Cal Kane. Like what is Superman's real name? Yeah, Cal Kane. Yes. And Joey Savage. Okay. So, but yeah, I was just wondering if there's anything else you guys wanted to talk about tonight before we hang up. I always like to have a little bit of the show that's an open forum.
Go ahead, Cal.
Well, I don't know.
So, Cal, tell us what's going on. Tell us something. Tell us one of your stories. Tell us something.
No, it's just still a work in progress. I've probably got the last page count I had was like 533. And
wow.
I think since then it's gone up. So I mean, I'm still plodding along on it. It's
cool.
Still work in progress.
Cool.
So I don't even know if we. Huh?
I know something we can talk about. There is a new. I just heard about this website that pays writers or pays people to blog. It's excellent. It's called BUBBLEWS.com, like Bubble Ooze.
Bubble Ooze. Okay. And what's it about? I mean,
it's a website that you post your blog and you actually get paid per view.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you get enough blogs posted and a lot of people are reading you, then you may be able to quit your day job.
Wow. Well, I know on YouTube they do that too. Depending on how many views you get, you can get paid a lot of money. Because I know that one girl, what was her name? Rebecca Black or something. I don't remember her, but she came up with some song and she became a hit overnight. And she had like 100,000, and it was 1 million. And I think she made like $100,000 or something before it was over with. Yeah. Well, I'm going to check that out. Are you planning on adding your blog to it?
I am.
Oh, cool. Well, I did want to say something to you, Joey. I don't want you to think that I copied you, okay? But you think of it as you inspiring me, okay? All right. But I think I'd like to do what you're doing. I'd like to have like a daily blog, on Facebook. I mean, I have a blog on Blogsport, I think it's called, but nobody ever checks Blogsport. Any friends of mine, they don't know what Blogsport is. So what I'm thinking, because I was telling Cal about it too, and I posted it on my wall, is that I feel like I'm starting a new life, because I'm really focusing on some important things like writing my book and losing weight and just a few other things. I'd like to keep a journal like that, like you're doing. I think that would be so cool.
It's very helpful.
Is it okay if I copy you a little bit?
You're not copying. A lot of people are doing that, and I think it's very, very helpful for the creative process and also for the health journey to get it out on paper. A lot of mine is just bitching about it.
Yeah. Well, I may write my first one. I will write my first one before the night is over. Then, I'm going to, Yeah, because today I'm thinking of, today's a real important day to me because of so many reasons. I don't know why it always happens on March 2nd, but, 32 years ago on this day, I moved out on my own at the age of 19. I remember the day because that's the day I checked, into the apartment. Then I had 13 years ago on this day, I got very sick with an illness, but it did change my life because I found out something that was wrong with me. Now I'm on medication. I'm doing great. And then also on this day, when I was, I don't remember now. I'm getting so many, so many days, that things that's happened on this day. But there was another thing that happened in 1981 that also made a big difference. So, in 84 rather. I'm sorry. So so why not start my new life on the same day, right?
There you go.
Yeah, and well, I just wanted to thank both of you. Cal, thank you for calling in, and Joey, thank you again for calling in. I really enjoyed, Joey, what we talked about earlier about the healthy eating, and I hope that some of our Facebook friends that are listening in will check out your group. And what is the name of your group again that you want to share?
Joey of Healthy Cooking.
Okay, so anyone can just go ahead and say they want to join, and then you will go ahead and approve them. Okay, perfect. Excellent, excellent. All right, well, I guess what I wanted to say now is, I can't believe an hour went by already. I had so much fun talking to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I did want to say that I just want to say please join us next Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for our next episode. But for now, I do wish you all a great night, and I want to thank anyone that was listening to that didn't get a chance to call in. And this is John signing off. So good night to you, Joey. Good night, Cal, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.
Good night, John.
Good night, John.